Well, good evening. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to the Black Factor, and I am your host, Brian Forbes. I want to welcome all the Black Factor family back. Happy New Year, y'all. I'm glad everybody is tuning back in, and we ready to get this party started because we got a lot to talk about, y'all. We've been out for a week or so, or a few days, whatever, after Christmas, and a lot has happened since then. A lot of things need to be discussed. A lot of stuff need to be dealt with, and so we gonna deal with it. So, with all of that said, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stay tuned, stand by, and get ready because we gonna get it in, y'all. Yep. We are back. We are on the bricks. We ready to go. Let me turn my TV down first of all. That helps, don't it, y'all? Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you are aware or you have been keeping up with the latest in nonsense. To Shira Lamar, hey, good to see you. Thank you for checking in. My girl Phyllis Harris from the East Coast in the building. It's good to see y'all. I miss everybody, y'all. I miss y'all. I miss my Black Factor family. I don't know how to act without y'all. I had to get myself together, do the doggone show. I almost forgot what I was doing. I'm kidding. Anyway, so I'm going to start this thing out, y'all, with what I believe to be some very important thing that I got to say right now. Anybody in my Georgia Black Factor family that is watching, if you have not already voted, please make it your business to get out there tomorrow and get that handled. Everything we know in regard to politics and this country in the condition that it is in and the potential to go bad hinges on tomorrow's elections. And I really hope and I believe that we truly do understand that, because so far they say they have record voting that has taken place in Georgia for this. In fact, for the regular election and for this runoff. This runoff is setting new precedent because they have, of course, turned the red state of Georgia to blue, which is where it should be. At least there are people who don't require straitjackets in order to do their job. So, first of all, y'all, check this out. Now, we didn't get a chance to deal with some of this stuff because, of course, of the holiday and everything. But I want to go and talk about the Nashville bomber, or what has been dubbed the Christmas bomber. This guy, his name is Anthony Warner. Now, it turns out that his girlfriend and his lawyer had notified authorities long prior, up to a year prior to this guy blowing up all of this stuff in Nashville. And, you have to ask yourself, and I'm sorry, I try not to get into the white-black measuring stick, but it's just so obvious. And that particular idea runs completely through this entire show, because there are a couple of other incidents that we're going to talk about tonight that revolve specifically around that very thing. The fact that there are people who don't believe that privilege exists for certain people. And the bottom line is, the things that we're going to talk about tonight, black folks just couldn't have done that and got away with it. Not like this. It couldn't happen. Regina Freeman, I see you. Thank you for checking in. Steve McCauley, thank you. Alejandro, my man Alex is in the building. Derek Allen, it's good to see you, my brother. Thank you. Okay, so look, this guy, Anthony Warner, right? So apparently he lived in Antioch, Tennessee, and it was a known thing that he was manufacturing explosives right in his RV outside in his yard. And the authorities were notified. So apparently they went to his house, knocked on the door, didn't get an answer, and walked away. Now let's just imagine in that sort of Twilight Zone tone, you know how we do. I don't have my Twilight Zone music up, y'all. Can you imagine if someone had accused or said that a person of color, let's even say that the person was Middle Eastern. Let's just use that as a stretch. Let's just say that the person was black and somebody said, these people are manufacturing explosives. Can you imagine what would have happened? Can you imagine the people who would have gone forward and made absolutely sure that they got a warrant to check out this person's property? There's no way that a person's lawyer, girlfriend, had gone to police and federal authorities and told them straight up, this dude making bombs in his RV over there, and it'd been ignored. But once again, there's that privilege that rears its ugly head. That white privilege. You know, I'll be honest with you. You hear white people say all the time they tired of hearing about these type of things. They tired of hearing about black folks talking about white privilege. Well, guess what? We're tired of living under it. You should be equally as tired of us talking about it, which means you should do something about it. Because guess what? The race problem in this country is not black folks' problem. We didn't create it. We can't stop it. The only people who can stop it is the people who actually created it. Imagine that. But yet, they're the ones who always seem to tell us that we're the ones with the problem. Yes, we have a problem because y'all created it. Imagine that. L.A. Scott is in the building. Hey, L.A. Tiffany Smith, good to see you. Oh, y'all just coming on in. Thank you, y'all, for hanging out with me. Now, y'all know doggone well, couldn't nobody black or nobody Middle Eastern, anybody with any kind of color, tone, be told, the authorities be told that they're making bombs in their RV and nobody do anything about it. That is asinine, and we know it. But here's the real problem. We live in a time where, forget that. We don't live in a time. We've lived in this entire, as long as this country been alive, under terrorism. At least people of color have. We've been terrorized from the time we were brought here. But they refuse to call it terrorism. What do they call people who blow themselves up in a time of crisis, in the Middle East and other places? You have these people, they're suicide bombers. That's what they're called. Why hasn't anybody called this guy a suicide bomber? I don't understand that. Why haven't organizations like the KKK, the Oath Keepers, the Boogie Boys, Proud Boys, Antifa, why haven't these organizations been labeled as terrorist organizations? Why is it that organizations that have done nothing but try and help obtain justice and equality for people of color in this country, always the ones that get attacked and called terrorists, like Black Lives Matter, like the Black Panther Party, like many of the Native American, and I don't even like to use the term Native American, y'all know that, the indigenous individuals of this country who have been literally wiped out and genocide committed against. Who's the real terrorist? Who's the terrorist then? Because you want something that they have that they're not willing to just freely give away to you, and they may have even done that if you weren't such barbarians, and you took from these people, destroyed their lives, killed their families, yet they're the ones that's called a terrorist. Something wrong with this picture, y'all. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. But these other people who continue to terrorize Americans, and now all these red hat wearers, they're called patriots, or at least they call themselves patriots anyway. And who's going to argue with them? Who's going to refute them while they walk around with their AKs and their ARs and tell everybody what they're going to do and what they're not going to do? Lulling themselves consistently into a false sense of security. It's not going to go the way you think it is. And let me say, because we, like I have mentioned at the top of this show, and it is going to be a necessity that we vote tomorrow, for those of you who are in Georgia, vote, vote, vote. Make those 2 seats blue. Understand that these people are already upset. And we're going to talk about, at the end of this show, we're going to definitely talk about y'all's president and his latest illegal activity that seemingly is not going to, it's going to go untouched. Nobody's going to say a word, and he's going to walk away scot-free, continuously making accusations against people who are and have not done anything to be accused of. Now, this guy in our guy over there in Tennessee, who blew up the building. Well, I was wondering, and I mentioned this on a previous show, I was really curious as to why or what is on this guy's mind that would make him want to blow up buildings and, of course, not hurt anybody. Well, from what I understand and what I've been able to gather, he is one of those people who is on that serious conspiracy theory type stuff. He mentions aliens and lizard people in his so-called manifesto. You know, a lot of these guys, they usually when a bomber or one of these guys goes and blows up a bunch of stuff, they have a manifesto. They have a whole list of things that they got a problem with. They let you know how they feel about things. Well, apparently he sent out some packages to some friends and relatives that he wanted people, I guess, to understand why he did what he did. Funny thing is, the Federal Bureau of Investigation and others have yet to release any of this information, any hard information about what his understandings were. I think because they say they don't want to give too much airtime or airplay to this sort of nonsense, if you will. And basically, he was a real serious conspiracy theorist, and he sent them some 9-page letters and 2 thumb drives with certain videos off of YouTube, and with no return addresses. There were basically a bunch of ramblings from what was told. Of course, we'll never know. Hopefully they'll release it one day so that the public can at least see what was going on. And apparently he says that he found something in the park that gave him immeasurable knowledge about what was going on. He says now he made it clear that now he understands everything. And about what we really are, all the way to that, about something about the universe. Now, this goes back to what we talked about when we discussed mental illness, and which, by the way, I want you all to know too. We're going to be doing our mental illness show this month. I haven't decided which date yet, but we will be doing the mental illness show again this month with a special guest. I have Dr. Bethea, who has agreed, and believe me, I had to pull teeth to get her to come on. But she will be coming on to share with us, and we will be able to ask questions and get some clarity about what we need to do in terms of helping ourselves and our loved ones who may be suffering from depression, suicidal, any of those type of things. And we'll be able to get down to some real things. And so y'all stay tuned for that. It's going to be a great, great show. Because she is a doctor in this area, and she is very, 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 very knowledgeable on these things. So anyway, apparently this guy had some sort of mental illness. That's the best I can make of all of this. So mainly they're saying that his motive had to do with, here it comes, drum roll. Wait a minute. Let me get my drum roll. Let me get my drum roll out. Wait a minute. Apparently this guy had, his rambling had to do with 5G. Y'all hear what I said? 5G. 5G. Now, earlier last year, we did a complete show. And unfortunately, my guest, we weren't able to hear him well, but I am going to have him back on because we're going to talk about 5G again. The idea that 5G is causing COVID, because that's what I heard from a few people and a few other things, it's not only ridiculous, it has no scientific basis whatsoever. If you hadn't understood what 5G and radio waves and these types of things are and how they work, you'll know that this is nonsense. But like the other people who believe that Pizzagate was real, the guy who went to New York, bust up in a pizza parlor and was threatening to kill a bunch of people because he said there were children in the basement that were devil worshippers and they were getting their blood drank, and he ran up in there with a gun and acted a fool. This is yet another one of those guys. And these are the people who vote against their own best interest every voting cycle. A bunch of wackos. I don't understand. So QAnon and the other conspiracy theory organizations that continue to promote nonsense. You know what? Here's what I don't understand about people who follow these conspiracy theories. I just got to know this. Maybe they can help me out. How is it that you all manage to know more about secret societies? Let's go back. Secret societies. Where did you get the information from this secret society that you know so much that you can unequivocally say that the rest of the world is screwed up and you know something that they don't? I'm just curious. If it's such a secret, how did you find out if you're not a member? Okay. All right. Anyway, I'm just saying. They got all these people like the Illuminati crowd. Oh, the Illuminati does this and the Illuminati does that. Well, how you know? You a member? Huh. All right. Well, anyway, enough of the mentally challenged group. Now I'm going to talk about, and we're going to go back into white privilege as it pertains to current events. Have you all heard of a guy by the name of Keyon Harrold? Keyon Harrold happens to be a Grammy award-winning trumpet player, well known in music circles, in the jazz music circles. Well, apparently he and his son were at the Arlo Hotel in Lower Manhattan last week, and he told his son, let's go downstairs and have breakfast before we get out and move around New York. So he and his son go downstairs, and as they're approaching the restaurant to get ready to eat, a woman who has now been identified, I don't know, well, she claims she's Puerto Rican, but of course, she looks white, and I guarantee you if you give her an application, y'all know we do this application thing all the time. I talk about how you should identify on an application. Guarantee you on her application she puts white. Well, this who has now been dubbed Soho Karen, her name is Maya Poncet. She approached this 14-year-old boy who was Keyon Harrold's son and threatened him and told him to give her his cell phone because she claimed that he stole her phone. Now, mind you, they just stepped off the elevator. And she claimed that his cell phone belonged to her and he took it. And she then began to have somewhat of a hissy fit. And in doing so, she created, of course, one hell of a scene. And I think the part that bothers me about this entire story, if you want to call it that, is that why is it that the individuals or the hotel staff actually had the nerve to partially take her side in this situation and to go along with the idea that the phone actually did belong to her? Simply because of what? Just because she said so? Sound like some Donald Trump stuff to me. I'm going to let y'all check it out.
Please. Show me this is my phone. Show me. No.
You don't have to explain nothing to her.
Take the case off. That's mine. Literally, get it back.
Are you kidding me? You feel like there's only one iPhone made in the world?
No. Okay, then show me the.
No,
show me
you get a life
over there. What's on your background?
You better go use find my iPhone. Go do that.
Find my iPhone is on.
Can you come in? No, you can't. No.
I'm the manager of the hotel.
I don't care.
He will
This is
right
my
now.
son.
Hey,
Did you see me just come downstairs out of the fucking elevator?
I'm trying to help.
No, but you're not helping.
I
What
am.
you've been is disrespectful.
No, I'm trying to settle the situation.
My son has nothing to do with her.
No.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the lobby.
Then show me the proof. No, he's not leaving. Show me the proof.
Are you
Show me
kidding
the
me?
proof.
You better get on.
I need you away.
Let's go,
I
kid.
need you away.
I'm sorry.
Better get on. We have what you see two black people.
No, I'm not letting him walk away with my phone.
Better get on somewhere.
No, please
lady.
get my phone back. I cannot not have my phone.
Listen, get your ass on.
Now, the thing about this situation is, number one, I wanna first back up, and I wanna say, what if that young man's father had not been with him? Now, that video that I just showed you was the video that was actually taken by Kenyon Harrell. He made it his business to videotape, because we already know how things go, but he made it his business to videotape this while this was going on for the purpose of being sure that it was documented. Now, simply because she said, just because she said that he took her phone, that will seem to be good enough for everybody else. Well, I'm sorry, but it's not good enough for me. Now, I'm going to show you the other portion of the video.
Ponsetto is seen wrestling with the teen, assuming he had her phone.
She
But
jumped
it was
him.
later
Look at that.
found and returned by an Uber driver.
I mean, I don't know what would have happened if my dad wasn't there.
Now, he just said himself, he doesn't know what would have happened if his dad wasn't there. Now, the funny part about all of this, it's not funny. Her phone was later returned to her by her Uber driver. Why? Because she left her phone in her Uber. After creating this scene, attacking this young man, accusing him, using a few racial slurs, and everything that took place. All of that. And then she walked away. Poof, like nothing happened. Let's imagine a black woman attacking a 14-year-old white boy with his father over her cell phone. Can you imagine the fallout? Can you imagine the police response? Can you imagine her walking away? I can't, because we already know it wouldn't have happened. Period, point blank. Tashira Lamar says the fact that some of these people think they're entitled to whatever bullshit that comes out of their mouth enrages me. You and me both, dear. She could have been a broke-ass chick on a come-up. Do like they do and sue. F an apology, which I'm sure she didn't give. And now that you mentioned that, you're absolutely correct. She did not give an apology. And in fact, she was not a New York resident. She got on her plane, flew back to California to where she lives, and resumed her life as usual. However, the news agencies have managed to catch up to her. And she is saying, well, she started out saying that she was the victim and she had been attacked, which of course the video shows that that's not true. So now investigators have decided that they are going to potentially press charges. They've retained Benjamin Crump as their attorney right now, and they are demanding that she be arrested and charged. And in fact, they do have a list of charges that they're potentially about to put on her, which would be assault and attacking a minor, grand larceny, because she did try to steal his phone, and the list goes on. They have a laundry list. And she, in fact, joins the ranks of all of the other Karens across America who feel self-entitled to use their white and female privilege to weaponize the police in order to gain what they want or make them feel better. The same as the woman who was in the park who claimed that the black man was attacking her because he asked her to put her dog on a leash. Fortunately, Mayor de Blasio of New York has also demanded that she be arrested and that she be charged because she deserves to be charged, because that shouldn't happen in America. But here's the real problem. Here's the real issue, and this goes back to white privilege. Why do we have to have press conferences? Why do we have to have news agencies and all of these other people involved for justice to be served? Please, somebody explain that to me. If we live in such an equal country that does things the way it's supposed to be done, according to most white people who believe that nonsense, why is it necessary for anybody to have to ask for the police to go and press charges the way they should have been pressed before she ever got back on an airplane? Somebody explain that to me. See, we know this is nonsense and it's BS. And anytime anybody white decides to stand up and say that it's not, and they want to make an excuse for this type of crap, they're prejudiced them damn selves. You're dead ass wrong. You don't live our life. You don't walk in our shoes. This is why we have to have these conversations with our sons. This is why we have to explain to our sons that there's a certain code of conduct and behavior that they must adhere to in order to walk among the public and just live their life freely. There's no such thing as freely for a black man in America. You have to do these things because even if you comply, as they always say, why didn't you just comply? It doesn't matter. I watched a video of a man several years ago who was trying to help one of his students who was mentally challenged. He was trying to help the boy. They were surrounded by police. He had his hands up, laying on the ground, and they still shot at him. This is America. Racism in America is so ingrained in the fabric of this country that anytime you protest racism, they think you protest in America. When you protest injustice, you protest in America. This is where we live, y'all. This is what we built this freely. And we still have to walk around and be worried about whether or not we're going to be able to make it home when we walk outside our door because of these Karens and these Kens who think that everything belongs to them and that the world is at their beck and call. Days are over. That's coming to an end. Which brings me back to the election in Georgia. Y'all better understand that tomorrow could very easily be a very tumultuous day. If the Republicans do not prevail in tomorrow's election, see this, you need to understand that these two seats in the Senate literally will make or break them. They must win. The Republican Party must win these two seats. If they don't, you thought you saw some butthurt folks behind Donald Trump losing? Baby, you get ready to see some folks act a stone cold fool because they know that's it. That's all of it. They know they have a lot of work to do. The entire party is splintered. They have to choose between real Republicans, who I have more respect for now than ever, and Trump-publicans. Because there are two different groups. This is no different than when the Civil War began. I don't know how many of you, and we went over these things on a few shows back. I don't know how many of you are completely familiar with the history of this country and the Civil War, why it took place and how it came to be. But in fact, you had people who were so against the freedom of black folks, that they couldn't stand it. There are history books out here that literally call slaves immigrants, that literally tell these children who are growing up that the Civil War was about states' rights, which is a lie. Well, partially. It was about states' rights, but it was about states' rights' ability to maintain slavery. They don't tell you that part. See, now they want to try and sugarcoat everything. But these are the same attitudes and ideas and reasons why we still to this day suffer and have to go through the things that we do in order to try and just live without all the BS every single day. All I want to be able to do is go out of my house, mind my business, without having to watch my back or worry about where the next wacko is going to come from that feels entitled. See, that sense of entitlement, simply because you look different than me, doesn't matter. Choose me, you got the right one. That I promise you. So hopefully this young man and his this gentleman and his son are able to recover from this situation, because the Maya Ponsettos of the world do not realize the damage that they do to young black males. We're talking about a 14-year-old boy who will forever be marred by this incident, who will forever be scarred by her actions, who will forever wonder where the next one of her is coming from. Now, January 6th, okay? If the Republicans lose tomorrow, January 6th is going to be nothing more than chaotic. You already have a bunch of people in the House who are going to try as hard as they can to keep Donald Trump in office. It's not going to happen because on the 6th is nothing more really than a formality. But the bottom line is there are people, in light of recent events, are distancing themselves from the Trump camp. Dennis McCullum, he wants to know, does she have mental illness? Yes. Nope. Let me tell you what she has. She has alcoholism. Here's what I found out. Now, it's interesting that this time it wasn't just a black person whose history they dug into. Let me see. And you know, I'm wanting her to be. She needs to get charged. I'm just really, you know, I really got a problem with that, because she shouldn't still be free. She should at least be locked up. But here's part of the reason why. My guess is why she hadn't been locked up yet. You know, they like to protect their own. Apparently, she has a history of run-ins with the law. And one, she has a public intoxication charge on her as we speak. She got caught in a Beverly Hills hotel in February, and they arrested her for public intoxication. And I can tell you, out in California, they don't play that. California is one of them places you better not walk across the street wrong. They will get you for jaywalking. Also, in May, she was arrested for a DUI, and she was sentenced to probation. I'm guessing she copped a plea on this one. Community service and 9 months of alcohol counseling. And apparently she is due in court for the public intoxication charge in Beverly Hills later on this month. And apparently she already had pled not guilty. Well, like I said, these are the people in your neighborhood. Anyway, you know, again, here we are in, you know, with a person who has already gotten away with so much. We already know that if she is charged, that 9 times out of 10, she's already on probation. She just caught a public intoxication that she's fighting right now And if they lock her up, guess what's going to happen? They're going to revoke her bail. And she's going to either have to make bail again if they're willing to give it to her, but she's a white woman, so they probably will. Like Kyle Rittenhouse, who should not have a bail for double murder. Nobody who kills two people gets bail, except a 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, who had no business in the next state over from where he lives with a firearm that he should never have had legally in the first place. But that is white privilege. That's what that's called. If he were black, he wouldn't see the light of day ever again. And we know this because that's the difference between being white in America and being black in America. We already know the story. And the funny part is you can't prove that to some folks. Well, of course, they know the truth. They just don't want to admit to it. That's the bottom line. So, come tomorrow, after this election, this runoff, there's probably going to be hell to pay. I hope that, like I have been in the past, I hope I'm wrong again. I hope I'm wrong again and there is no civil unrest on the 6th, because apparently on the 6th, it has been said that there will be protest marches in Washington, except this time it's going to be white folks protesting Donald Trump losing the election. Because as it stands right now, I thought we lived under democracy. I thought we lived under the Constitution of the United States. I do not, for the life of me, understand. Let me stop. Yes, I do understand. It's called white privilege. How an individual can circumvent the Constitution, do as they please, tamper with witnesses, say what they want, try and coerce an entire state body to sway an election in his direction just because he said so. What sort of twilight zone are we living in? Would somebody please tell me? Because I don't get it. Donald Trump's America. So we have 73 million people in this country who believes that he should still be the president just because he said it. Not because he has any evidence, not because he can prove anything. So today a press conference was held in Georgia by the Election Commission, and he broke down every lie Donald Trump told about the state and about Dominion voting stations, and showed the public with evidence why what he said is not true. Donald Trump has no evidence. Donald Trump has nothing more than his whiny diaper, his wet diaper, and he's mad because he lost. He's a loser. He's been a loser his whole life. The only reason he has remained wealthy at all is because of his father. Period, point blank. And he's about to lose all of that. Because guess what? Wait a minute. Where's my counter at? Because in a few more days, 15 days, 15 hours, 20 minutes, and 4 seconds. Y'all see my counter over there. Donald Trump becomes a private citizen. When he becomes a private citizen, he is subject to the law. And I guarantee you, now this time I hope I'm not wrong, but I guarantee you, he gonna have some legal problems. He not only has legal problems, he's got financial problems. And those problems are going to jump on top of his ass like spiders. He's done. The boy got problems. He knows he's got problems, and that's why he knows his days are numbered. That's why he's going to do anything that he can to try and get out of this. His only saving grace in the state of Georgia is the fact that it is a Republican state, and it is run mostly by Republicans. Because since he's made everything so partisan, if it were a Democratic state, see, this is why I got a problem with the Democrats. Democrats allow way too much stuff to go on. I just want y'all to try and imagine, just try and imagine, if Barack Obama had attempted at any time to do any of the things Donald Trump has gotten away with. That's not even, it ain't even imaginable. They accused him of stuff that he didn't even do and tried to hold him to it. They got mad at his wife for wearing a dress with her arms out. While we got a porn star for a first lady right now. Nobody said a word. They jumped all over the budget and talked about how high the budget was and their kids were going to have to live with the deficit. And Donald Trump has run that thing, through the roof. Not a word. Donald Trump has talked to foreign. They talked about Barack Obama colluding with tyrants, colluding with foreign powers because he shook their hand. And Donald Trump is over here making phone calls to Vladimir Putin and hanging out with Kim Jong-un, making deals behind the back, in the back door, not letting nobody know what was said. And all that's okay, though. Calling foreign powers to help him with his election to go after the Bidens. That was okay, though. Now he's calling up people in other states and threatening them. Telling them you could go to jail if you don't overturn this election. If you all have not heard the transcripts and the audio from the leaked audio that just came out about the phone call that he made to Georgia, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that from the beginning. If you all have not heard that, please look it up and listen to it. It's about an hour long. And Donald Trump basically threatens the state, the Secretary of State and the election commissioner, pretty much, and tells them that they could literally go to jail for not overturning the election in his favor. And they have asked him, and they asked him in this audio to provide the evidence of the things that he's claiming. And he keeps claiming, oh, yeah, we have it. And they say, well, we've tried to get you to give it to us. Well, no, I don't think that's necessary. Okay, well, if you don't think it's necessary, guess what? Miss us with the nonsense. These are Republicans he's talking to, not Democrats. So now he's mad because they won't circumvent the Constitution to benefit Donald Trump. I don't have anything good to say about him or his family and their conniving ways. They are no better than the very people Rudy Giuliani worked his whole career to put away, which was the mob. In fact, I would give the mob more accolades than I would Donald Trump because at least they had some level of integrity in the people that they dealt with and the way they dealt with them. They did business. At least they had some integrity among themselves. This guy will throw anybody under the bus. And any fool, especially Ted Cruz. And here I am in the state of Texas with this clown. He's a clown. Yeah, I said it. And I wish he was in front of me. I say it to his face. You're a clown. You let that man talk about your family, your wife, like some damn dogs. And you right now are right a main one up there kissing his ass. You're a clown. Period. Full stop. You have no respect for yourself, your family, or anything else. You don't deserve to be in office. And if I had it my way, I wish my vote, when I did vote against you, had mattered. It matters. It just didn't go the way I wanted it to go. So, anyway, all I got to say is my Georgia folks, y'all just make sure that y'all get out there and y'all vote because it's necessary. You understand me? It's very, very necessary. I ran across this today. I thought it was pretty funny. Based on the conversation that he had with with them on the phone, he said, I just got to find 11,780 votes. That's all I need. That's all we need. We just need that to win. We won, but we just need these votes. Really? That's how this works now? You want people to go and pull votes out of their ass to appease you. You must be insane. Well, yeah, we know that. So, yeah. Anyway. Insanity is real, y'all. It's real. Whew, I done wore myself out talking about this nonsense. Well, right quick, y'all, before we call this show a close, I have to take this moment and give homage to a brother that was a classmate and friend of mine, a gentleman by the name of Donnie Kursky. He went to what we call the Palace in Chicago, that being Chicago Vocational High School. Donnie was a good dude. Donnie mentored many basketball players. He was a former assistant coach at DePaul, Chicago State, head coach at Howard Moore. Now, this guy coached at UIC. He coached so many different teams, include not only college but high school. He is legendary in the game. Funny thing, I can remember when we were in high school and this dude, man, he'd make it down the court. Bad boy. They couldn't catch him. They couldn't do nothing with him. He was smooth with it. I mean, just cool. He'd throw that thing up there, man, and you'd be standing there looking crazy. Like, wow, he got me. He'd get you every time. If he had the ball and he'd catch you down court, it was too late. It was already too late. So I want to send a heavenly rest in peace to my man, Donnie Kursky, Chicago legend, basketball legend. Now, just for the record, I'm going to let y'all all know, this was due to COVID. This is yet another casualty of COVID. So, my man Donnie, rest in peace, brother. Y'all be sure to cover up, mask up, take care of yourselves, take care of your family. Understand this thing is not over. Just because we're tired of COVID does not mean that COVID is tired of us. Not yet. It ain't over yet, y'all. Let's just hang in there a little while longer. Let's keep doing what we got to do. Let's keep taking care of what we got to take care of and stay covered up. It's necessary. We got to keep this thing together, man. We're gonna make it. We're going to make it through. But in the meantime and in between time, this clown in the White House, it's almost time for the circus to leave. The clown car is loading as we speak. And they're about to remove the trailer from the White House lawn so these folks can get back to the trailer park they belong in. And we can move on. America can come off its vacation. America had a long vacation, a 4-year vacation. It's time for America to come off a vacation and get back to the business of governing and being a world superpower, a real one, with real people who do real things and are not so ego-driven that they will run an entire country and people's lives into the ground. This is where we are, y'all, and it's time. So, with all of that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say thank you. Oh, daggone it. I always forget to do this. I always forget to plug my own stuff. I got to do that right quick. So, for those of you who have not gotten your copy, please feel free. Pick up your copy of The Black Factor at bmforbes.com in the shop section. Yep. Get my book. It's got a lot of stuff we talk about all the time right inside. I can't wait to work. I'm working on the next one. I can't wait to finish it, y'all. So get on bmforbes.com and check it out. Now, tonight I'm wearing my conductor shirt, just so y'all can see it. Let me check that out. This is a shirt that is in tribute to Harriet Tubman, to Moses. And we do have this shirt as well as others. You can check out the website, quotedlife.com, quotedlyfe.com. And we have lots of different varieties of unapologetically black shirt apparel. Things that you can wear where you can speak your mind. Say what you want to say. Let the world know how you feel. Tell them what you're really thinking. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to go. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, Black Factor family. I love y'all. Y'all make me want to do this every day because if I can help open some doors, if I can pull some strings, if I can plant some seeds and motivate somebody, then doggone it, I did a good thing today. And I'm happy when I do that. This is the Black Factor where perspective matters. And I want to say thank you all. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Brian Forbes. Happy New Year. And let's get it done, y'all. 2021 is going to be a beast, and we're going to make it so. We ain't going to let 2021 live us. We're going to live 2021. I can't even get it out. Damn it, I'm so excited. I can't even get 2021 out of my mouth. Thing is, 2021. But 2021, it's going to be way better. We're gonna kick 2020 in the ass with 2021. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Thank you so much. Love, peace, and chicken grease. I appreciate each and every one of you. Love y'all. Holla.